Yesterday, the world showed Benjamin Netanyahu exactly what he deserves: complete and utter rejection. Netanyahu was addressing an almost empty auditorium after many delegates walked out en masse in protest. Hundreds of diplomats staged a walkout from the UN General Assembly as Netanyahu entered to speak. And the look on his face? Absolutely precious. He looked like he was going to stomp and cry like a little child who didn't get his way. Such a weak man who thinks he's strong and righteous by killing innocent civilians. This is what accountability looks like. This is how civilized nations respond to genocide. This is how Christians should react to war criminals and colonizers. Bible does not teach us to sit and listen to the lies of a mass murderer just because he is an Israeli prime minister. Outside, a crowd of roughly 2,000 protesters marched from Times Square to UN headquarters, where they chanted slogans and cheered news of the delegates' walkout. The world was celebrating his humiliation, and rightfully so. Let's be clear about who this man is and what he's done. He's bombed hospitals, schools, and refugee camps. He's murdered over 65,000 Palestinians, many of them children. He's targeted journalists, humanitarian aid workers, and anyone who dares to document his crimes. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry, more than 65,000 people, many of them children, have been killed in Israel's ongoing assault on Gaza. As of May 2025, Israeli intelligence recognized 8,900 confirmed Hamas fighter deaths out of over 53,000 total Palestinians killed by that point, making fighters only about 17% of the total killed. He's attacked aid ships with drones, jailed activists like Greta Thunberg, advocating for Palestinian freedom. He turned Gaza into the world's deadliest place in the last 2 years. And now he has the audacity to stand before the United Nations to spread his lies? Netanyahu denied allegations his government is carrying out a genocide, saying the opposite is true. The opposite is true? Tell that to the UN Commission of Inquiry and the International Association of Genocide Scholars, who both issued statements in September that Israel's actions in Gaza amount to genocide. But here's the beautiful part: the world isn't buying his lies anymore. The UN-backed International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant against him for alleged war crimes in Gaza. He's literally a wanted war criminal. I know there are Christian Zionists, evangelicals, and American politicians like Ted Cruz who love to quote that verse in Genesis 12 verse 3, where God says to Abram, "I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses I will curse." But using that verse to justify supplying 2,000-pound bombs to slaughter children? That's not just wrong, it's a slap in the face to Jesus Christ himself. They actually think Jesus would love them for financing the murder of innocent children. They believe Christ would take them up in the rapture for enabling genocide. The blasphemy is staggering. Palestine has now been recognized as a sovereign state by more than 150 UN member states. The world is moving on without Israel's apartheid regime. Even corporations are abandoning this genocidal maniac. Microsoft terminated the Israeli military's access to some of its cloud storage and AI products after revelations that Israel was using the technology to conduct mass surveillance of Palestinians. The isolation is not complete. Israel should be boycotted, isolated, and sanctioned by the world until they stop their colonial expansion. The world sees Netanyahu for what he is: a war criminal, a genocidal maniac, and a pathetic little man drunk on power and blood. Netanyahu's supporters tried to draw attention away from the spectacle by loudly applauding and standing for several minutes. But their desperate theatrics couldn't hide the truth. He was speaking to an empty room because no one wanted to hear from a genocide architect. This is what justice looks like in real time. Not a trial that takes decades, not sanctions that never come, but immediate, visceral rejection by the civilized world. Every delegate who walked out sent a message: we will not dignify genocide with our presence. We will not legitimize mass murder with polite applause. Netanyahu thought he could charm the world while slaughtering children. He thought his propaganda machine could whitewash his crimes. He was wrong. The emperor has no clothes, and the world can see his nakedness. He's isolated, humiliated, and exposed as the monster he always was. This is how all genocidal maniacs should be treated, with contempt, rejection, and the complete withdrawal of legitimacy. The walkout wasn't just symbolic, it was prophetic. It showed Netanyahu his future, alone, abandoned, and answerable for his crimes. History will remember this moment. The moment the world said enough to genocide. The moment civilities stood up to barbarism. And Netanyahu's face? That look of shock and petulance? That's the face of a man realizing his time is up. What do you think? Should more world leaders face this kind of rejection when they commit genocide? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more accountability content the mainstream media won't show you.